Tonight on Our News Weekend, nearly a decade after it passed in Parliament, the Freedom of Information Act still not fully implemented. Why good governance advocates say the delay is holding the country back. Plus, more shoppers, more cash, and more opportunity for crime. Why police say small security gaps could cost businesses big this holiday season. And after a night of heavy headlines, a little friendly competition and Bahamian flavor with a whole lot of dough in the air, we're taking you inside a local tradition that's been bringing employees together for more than a decade. It's all coming up on Our News Weekend, and it starts right now. This is Our News Weekend. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Kendino Knowles, in for Megan Shepard. All right, violence on our streets, dangerous encounters with police, and growing warnings for businesses as the holiday rush peaks. A man is fighting for his life after a late-night stabbing in Chippingham. In Grand Bahama, a search warrant turns violent when police say a man rammed a marked police vehicle, injuring 2 officers. And as shopping picks up, police urging business owners to tighten security, warning that simple oversights can have serious consequences. All of it raising a bigger question tonight about safety, accountability, and whether the public is getting the full picture. We've got those and a lot more to get to in just a bit. But we turn to a growing concern that a partially implemented Freedom of Information Act is adding to skepticism and deepening public mistrust. With 2025 drawing to a close, it appears the Davis administration no closer to fully enacting the Freedom of Information Act. The Organization for Responsible Governance weighing in on the lack of movement on a bill that passed in Parliament nearly a decade ago. Our Jasmine Brown recently sat down with the executive director to discuss why he says it's impacting national development.
The Freedom of Information Act may have been passed in 2017, but years later, it still remains only partially implemented. Still missing are critical tools needed to access government-held information. Org Executive Director Matthew Aubrey says this limits citizens' ability to scrutinize public decisions, participate in governance, and hold institutions accountable. And that's not all Aubrey says FOIA can achieve. The Org official says it can also boost public trust and deter corruption. But not fully enacting FOIA is an issue, says Aubrey.
When these are passed but not fully enacted, then they don't achieve their benefit. We don't see them. And in many ways, the fact that they've continued to not be passed, and Freedom of Information, which is now 8 years out from its passage, it only adds to skepticism. It only adds to mistrust. It only adds to speculation and feeds into the partisan political rhetoric that sometimes stalls progress.
But just how close is government to fully enacting FOIA? That's still unclear. On Monday, the Nassau Guardian reported that Attorney General Ryan Pinder Casey said government was still working on it. But back in January, the AG told our news that they had an implementation plan that would enable public requests for information by the end of this year. Aubrey says years of waiting isn't a good look.
When the laws are passed but not enforced or not enacted, then it just tells citizens that this is just something that sits on a shelf and we don't really have to apply or expect it in our own lives. And that feeds not only corruption, but the perception of corruption. And in many ways, the perception of corruption is just as destructive.
And it's not just FOIA that can make a difference. He says a suite of anti-corruption legislation passed in recent years is also vital.
Making sure that the laws of the land are active and achieving their intended benefit is a critical part of integrity. So ensuring that laws like freedom of information, the anti-corruption laws that were passed earlier this year, like the Independent Commission of Investigations Bill or the Protected Disclosures Bill, the Public Procurement Bill that was passed in last administration and another version passed in this administration, where you're supposed to have access to the full range of contracts that are being dispersed by both government and then the state-owned enterprises. These things are designed to ensure that there's transparency and accountability. They're designed to build citizens and private sector's trust in the governance operations.
During its 10 years of existence, one thing has been clear. Org has pushed and will continue to push for FOIA to be more than a political promise. Reporting for Our News, I'm Jasmine Brown.
All right, thanks for that, Jasmine. The University of the Bahamas has reached a major milestone, recently taking a key step toward full international accreditation. The university confirming this past week that UB has been granted accreditation candidacy by the Southern Association of Colleges and Schools Commission on Colleges, known as SAC-SCOC. The announcement was made during a recent annual meeting in Nashville, Tennessee, and it's being widely welcomed across the higher education community. In a statement, Chair of UB's Academic Senate, Dr. Nicolette Bethel, described the development as a significant achievement, saying it recognizes the university's commitment to academic excellence, institutional integrity, and continuous improvement. And for students and graduates, this latest step means greater confidence in the value of a UB degree both here at home and abroad. SAC-SCOC President Dr. Stephen Pruitt also congratulated the university, noting that candidacy confirms UB has demonstrated proficiency in key areas like governance, finance, and student support. With more than 5,000 students enrolled across its campuses, UB says the focus is now continuing the work as it moves toward full accreditation. All right, now to that late-night altercation in Chippenham that has left a 29-year-old man fighting for his life. Police say the stabbing happened just before 1:30 Sunday morning at a business establishment on Providence Avenue. Investigators report the man got into a physical altercation with another male who allegedly stabbed him in the lower back and abdomen. The victim was taken to hospital in a private vehicle where he remains in critical condition. A police operation in Grand Bahama turned dangerous Friday night after a man allegedly drove his vehicle into a marked police car, injuring 2 officers. It happened in the Pine Forest subdivision of 8 Mile Rock, while officers say they were executing a search warrant. Police say the situation escalated quickly. According to investigators, as officers entered the property, several ferocious dogs surrounded one of the officers, prompting the discharge of a service weapon and the injury of one of the animals. After completing the search, police say officers returned to their vehicle to leave the area. And that's when police allege a 50-year-old man got into a vehicle, accelerated, and intentionally collided with the marked police car. The man was immediately taken into custody and cautioned in connection with the incident. Police say 2 officers sustained injuries and received medical attention. Meanwhile, as holiday shopping peaks, police warning business owners tonight to tighten security, from bank drops to employee vetting to camera systems. Officials say simple mistakes can open the door for criminals.
With more customers, more cash, and longer business hours, police say the holiday season brings heightened risks for businesses. Inspector Gerard Culmer warning owners to take a hard look at their daily routines, especially when it comes to moving money.
If you can afford it, try to get armored service. If not, you could reach out to your police station and the officers in your community and ask them to assist you.
Inspector Culmer says business owners should never announce when they're making bank drops, avoid wearing company logos, and should switch routes, times, and even vehicles when possible. He also says how you carry money matters.
Please take alternate routes if you have to do it on your own. And just switch up the hours, switch up the routes. If you could, even change cars. I would encourage you to go straight to the bank. Don't make a stop by your friend's house or to get something to eat, because all that could play a part in people targeting you.
Culmer warning businesses to pay closer attention to who they allow inside their stores, particularly during busy hours.
Do not let members of the public into your store if they are wearing masks, shades, hoodies, or even hats, because therefore they may have ulterior motives.
Inside your business, Culmer says security doesn't stop at the front door. Camera systems should be operational, blind spots should be cleared, and staff should follow clear procedures. With many businesses hiring temporary workers for the season, Culmer says employee vetting is critical. Chief Superintendent Sharia King doubling down on the need for business owners to know their employees.
Innocently go home and start talking about their work and how the running of their work, and someone else may take that information and then use that for criminal activities. So the person themselves as an employee may be innocent, but they're taking this information home or in other social settings and then innocently providing that information to the criminal element.
Inspector Calmer says disgruntled former employees can also pose a risk, and business owners should not hesitate to involve police if threats are made. And whether you're a business owner or customer, Calmer says accessing cash should be done carefully.
If you have to go to ATM, please go in the day. And also, if you have to go, please go at a gas station or well-lit spot.
Police say business security should be treated as part of holiday operations, and simple adjustments can go a long way in preventing crime.
All right, when our news weekend comes back from the break, the next generation takes center stage. From New Providence to Grand Bahama, young musicians getting ready to show what they've got as the school pop band competition kicks off downtown this Monday. We'll tell you who's competing and what to expect. And a little later, a local tradition that's all about teamwork, talent, and a little friendly competition. We're taking you inside Marco's Pizza. Employees put their skills to the test in the annual dough slapping contest when our news returns.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you, and I say to myself, what a wonderful.
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set them all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set them all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Setamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
The sounds of drums and brass filled downtown Nassau Sunday as the Royal Bahamas Police Force Band staged its annual Beat Retreat. It's a tradition that signals the start of the Christmas season. The event at Rawson and Parliament Squares drew dignitaries, residents, and visitors, all enjoying the pageantry and patriotic parade. Meanwhile, the Royal Bahamas Police Force Northern Division getting ready to host its own Beat Retreat on December 16th at Port Lucaya Marketplace, led by the Royal Bahamas Police Force marching and pop bands. Be sure to join us this week. We've got a full story from our Danielle Miller as our news takes you inside the holiday tradition. And if you're a fan of pop music and youth talent, you'll want to be downtown this Monday. That's tomorrow. The Ministry of Youth, Sports and Culture set to kick off its school pop band competition, showcasing some of the nation's brightest young musicians and singers. Youth Division Head Sandina Neely shared details at the Office of the Prime Minister's press briefing this week, including who will be taking the stage. The competition will feature schools from across New Providence and even Grand Bahama, all coming together to put their musical talent on full display. According to organizers, it's a celebration of youth, creativity, and live performance.
We have St. Anne's School, the Blue Waves. Anyone representing the Blue Waves? We also have GHS, CR Walker, St. John's College, the Aces of Aquinas, the Pacers from Oran Bailey, and all the way from the nation's second city traveling to Nassau for this competition. Give it up for St. George's.
All right, for years, schools have been a staple on the country's cultural landscape, especially through Junkanoo, but this time, students will be put to the test in a different way through live band music and performance. And organizers say it's not just about playing an instrument, it's about stage presence, musicality, and overall showmanship.
Judges are judging them on creativity, of course. They're judging them on vocals. They're judging them also on overall performance. And so they're going to be taking you through music from Bohemian legends, for past and present. And then they're also able to do some mashups where they can add other genres into their repertoires.
And of course, Our News will be there to bring you all the highlights. Well, still to come on Our News Weekend, Flower in the Air. dough on the line and bragging rights up for grabs. Marco's Pizza turning up the heat with its annual dough slapping contest. But first,
we meet the winners of the 2025 Don't Blink Home Run Derby in Paradise, and Bahamas makes a big announcement at their charity tournament. We're going to find out what it is next on our Sports Weekend.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you. And I say to myself, what a wonderful
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that running nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set up all can deal with that fast, yeah. Try set up all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try Cetamol, cold and flu, and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Good evening, happy Sunday. Welcome to our Sports Weekend. I'm Tej Adderley. The Don't Blink Home Run Derby in Paradise went down to the wire last night. Let's meet our new winners. Gatewood, a 30-year-old baseball free agent with over 900 games of minor league experience, raked all the way through the first round and the semis, staving off 2024 champ Chavez Young and 2023 champ Bryce Dean before tying 2022 champ BJ Murray in the final, forcing a swing off where he came out victorious. Pian Castelli, the first ever home run queen, faced tough competition as well. The Italian pro softball player outlasted strong showings from Americans Charlize Palacios, Morgan Howe, and a Bahamian Sky Aubrey, a college freshman who surprised the crowd, and Pian Castelli claimed the trophy. Congratulations to the winners and to the organizers for another successful event. Now we're over to the tennis courts at Bahamas, where the resort announced ambitious plans for the future in the midst of a star-studded tournament.
In partnership with the Ministry of Education and the John McEnroe Tennis Center, the Bahamas Resort Foundation is proud to launch our junior tennis pilot program, bringing the sport of tennis directly into 5 government primary schools. Using softballs, small courts, and kid-friendly rackets, we're making tennis accessible to over 3,500 students ages 6 to 11.
That's Bahamas Director of Rackets Deron Donaldson announcing Bahamas Youth Pilot Program. It comes as a Bahamas Cup, a pro-am fundraiser hosted by tennis superstars John McEnroe and Mark Knowles got underway. The pilot will train Bahamian PE teachers in the sport and equip young students. The semester will conclude with a tournament at the John McEnroe Tennis Center at Bahamas. The Bahamas Cup, which featured a Pro-Am tournament and a Pro exhibition on Friday, as well as a Celebrity Pro-Am on Saturday, brings superstars from the tennis world, along with celebrities together to benefit the Bahamas Foundation. And Bahamian students will reap the foundation's rewards, receiving access to the sport of tennis. Now that's the gift that keeps on giving. Congratulations to Bahamas for another successful tournament and for growing the game in the local community. That will be a wrap for sports this evening. For our Sports Weekend, I'm Tej Adderley. I'll see you on Saturday.
All right, thanks for that, Tej. And if you're still in a competitive mood after Tej's sports report, here's a matchup of a different kind. For more than a decade, Marco's Pizza in the Bahamas has kept a tradition alive among its employees, one that builds camaraderie and a little friendly competition. This morning, that tradition on full display. The company held its annual dough slapping contest, showcasing some of its top performers on the assembly line. Danielle Miller was there for all the action.
We're here at Marco's Pizza, Bernard Road, to bring you a report on the most joyous time of year for executives here, and that is their dough slapping contest. 14 employees representing Marco's Pizza stores from across the country took part in Sunday morning's competition. Each contestant was judged on agility, skill, and presentation. all while making a pizza. Director of Operations for Atos Holdings Limited, Paul Savuses, says the contest has been a part of the company's culture since Marco's first opened its doors.
It's such a fun event to just see the support that we get just for the contestants. You know, it's one thing to have such amazing contestants, but then to see, you know, the store and everyone come out on a Sunday morning at 9 a.m. to come support their, you know, work colleagues just is, you know, a testament to the culture.
Savusa says the contest is about more than just competition. It's a way to showcase the talent and quality of the team members making the product every day.
It's a skill and it's a craft, so recognizing the best that we have, and, you know, I love competition. Seeing who the best is in our market is a coveted title that they're very excited about, something that, you know, is important to them, and it's very important to us.
That coveted title was awarded to Tyreek Lloyd.
I was going to win, but, you know, it happy to hear my name.
He walked away with more than just bragging rights and a trophy, but also $750. At the last dough slapping contest, Lloyd came third, but that did not shake his confidence. He told me that today he was determined to win. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, good stuff, Danny, and congratulations to Tyreek. On the other side of this break, meteorologist Ian McKenzie. He's got your extended forecast and what you can expect for the week ahead, plus a message of care, compassion, and healing as the Governor General making her annual Christmas visit to Sandilands. And to close us out, rhythm, blues, and a crowd that brought the energy. Soulful Sunday returning to Nassau Cruise Port with homegrown talent on the stage and an audience that stole the show. Stay with us.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them blue for me and you. And I say to myself, what a wonderful
Family, how you look so down? Set up all cold and flu, could flip that frown. All the coughing and that runny nose cannot last. You must come back to work and class. Set them all to deal with that fast, yeah. Try set them all cold and flu, daytime and nighttime too. Try set them all cold and flu and get back to the better you. Available at pharmacies nationwide.
Distributed by Lowe's Wholesale Drug Agencies Limited.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Our News. Here's a look now at your forecast for this Sunday evening. Currently outside our studios, we're under intermittent clouds with a temperature 74, winds from the north-northwest at 10 miles per hour. Feels like at 74 also. Temperatures across the country, we have 77s in Freeport, 74s in Marsh Harbor, Great Albuquerque, the capital, and in Allenstown, Bimini. A pair of 75s in Nicholstown, Andros, and Governors Harbor, Eleuthera. Central Bahamas, those 77s continuing in Kemps Bay, Black Point, Arthurstown, Coburntown, and Port Nelson, Rumkey, 76 in Georgetown, 78 in Deadman's Key, Long Island. Southeast Bahamas, 78s in Duncantown, Colonel Hill, and in Providenciales, Turks and Caicos, 79 in Delectable Bay, Auckland, 80 in Abrahams Bay, Mayaguana, 82 in Matthewtown, in Agua. Satellite and radar composite at this time, we have this plume of moisture all associated with prefrontal activity, associated with a frontal system that is pushing through the northwest Bahamas, should just be to the south of the capital early tomorrow morning. Cooler temperatures, however, breezy, windy, very strong winds in its wake, so that's a hazard to you boaters and beachgoers out there. Speaking about boating conditions in the northwest Bahamas tonight through tomorrow, small craft advisory in place, risk of rip currents for you swimmers. We're asking you actually to stay on shore. Boaters, stay put. Winds northerly 15 to 25, gusting up to 30 knots at times tomorrow into Tuesday. Those seas 5 to 8 feet up to 13 feet in northeast to easterly swells, mainly along the Atlantic coastlines. Low tide at 10:21 p.m. tonight, high tide at 4:28 a.m. tomorrow morning. In the central and southeast Bahamas, we're looking at an advisory in place for you boaters as well, and there is a strong risk for rip currents. Winds north to northeast 15 to 20, seas 4 to 7, but up to 12 feet offshore in those northeasterly swells. Here's a look now at your national forecast. In your extended forecast, folks, that frontal system will create some unsettled weather across our area through Monday. Clearing conditions behind it, cooler temperatures in its wake, however breezy, hazardous boating conditions that should persist through most of the week, warming temperatures by about Thursday. The next frontal system will be trying to make its way through the northwest Bahamas by about Friday, bringing some shower activity. Those high temperatures only managing to get into the low 80s with the low temperatures in the upper 60s, the low 70s. That's a wrap in the evening forecast. Make it a great, safe, productive week, everyone.
All right, thanks so much for that, Ian. The holiday season got a special start at Sandilands Rehabilitation Center this week as the Governor General paid her annual Christmas visit to the facility. Her Excellency, Dame Cynthia Pratt, joining staff and patients under this year's theme, Gifting Love, Compassion, and Healing. During the visit, the Governor General thanked the Sandilands team for their dedication to caring for some of the country's most vulnerable, including the elderly and those living with mental health and substance abuse challenges. Health Minister Dr. Michael Darville saying the visit marks the official start of the holiday season across the Public Hospitals Authority. He also pointed to a recent upgrade there, including completed renovations to the male ward bathroom, ongoing work at the Lignum Vitae unit, and expanded access to mental health services in the community. This year's visit also coming as the geriatric hospital marks its 60th anniversary. Officials say the message this season is simple. That is care, compassion, and dignity for all. And the month of December kicked off with the sounds of rhythm and blues as hundreds of locals gathered at the Nassau Cruise Port for its signature event, Soulful Sunday. It's our final story tonight, and our Danielle Miller, who was there, she tells us that while the lineup of homegrown talent did not disappoint, the energy from the crowd really stole the show.
It's a soulful Sunday here at the Nassau Cruise Port as a lineup of homegrown artists get ready to heat up the stage to add that fire to your desire for R&B music. On November 30th, the Nassau Cruise Port hosted the 4th edition of Soulful Sunday. Hundreds turned out and their energy filled the amphitheater, fueling electric performances by Navandria Lyric, Donnie and Zavi, and the Essence Band. For many in attendance, the night was everything they hoped for and more. Dr. Alea Campbell was one of them.
Hands down, all the vibes. I did not sit down once. And I sang every song. It was my era from 80s to 2000.
And for Basil and his friend Caval Williams, staying in their seats was never an option.
Listen to me. Phenomenal.
You sweating?
Yes.
You had a good workout?
This was my cardio for the week.
I see you was on the speaker.
No, that didn't mean it's Caval. I was next to the speaker, next to Caval, on the speaker. I almost there though. My knees don't work the same no more, but I was up there. My knees were 2 days younger.
Why you was carry on like that everywhere?
Not everywhere. Is it really everywhere or is it somewhere?
No, it's everywhere.
You sure?
Very.
You're right. It was everywhere. But this is what we need in life. We need fun. We need enjoyment. We need more people to dance.
As the night came to a close, the evening's hosts, Rika C and Dasque, had one message for R&B lovers.
If you miss this one, you gotta catch the next one. Soulful Sunday. Because we are singing songs from the soul. Songs I didn't know. Songs the words I didn't know. Songs before my time. Songs during my time.
Did y'all catch him singing C is for Cookie? Because he didn't know any other song to sing.
All right, you don't have to shimmy. You don't have to shimmy in front of everybody, sister. Not in front of everybody. Come here.
This was a taste of Soulful Sundays. Reporting for Our News, I'm Danielle Miller.
All right, thanks for that, Denny. And we're winding down to the ultimate giveaway brought to you by Our News, Automall, and Alive. And our weekly trivia challenge is keeping the excitement going as we count down to that brand new 2025 Hyundai Creta, which is on your screen and could be yours this holiday. Last week, participants were asked to name 3 benefits of purchasing from an authorized dealer. A lot of you got it right, but there can only be one winner. So, here's to Jada Rubens. You've just won a gas voucher from our friends at Alive and Auto Mall. Congratulations to you, Jada. Now, if you didn't hear your name tonight, don't worry. We've got a new trivia question dropping this week. Remember to follow Our News on all of your favorite social media platforms and tune in to Our News Weekly. That same 2025 Hyundai Creta on your screen could be yours this December. For more details, head over to ournews.bs/ultimate giveaway. And with that, we thank you for joining us for Our News Weekend. On behalf of the entire team, I'm Candino Knowles, wishing you a safe and wonderful evening. Candino Knowles here. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to see more stories like this, click right over here. Don't forget to turn on your notifications to see more great content from the team you already trust.